Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Psychology Point. Through this video, I am going to make class 11th revise chapter 1 what is psychology for their upcoming half yearly exams. Okay, so let's start. See, as I always tell you all, please go through your NCERT, each and every line of your NCERT if you want to score 100% marks. So that's why I'm using the PDF of your book itself and would be helping you what type of questions can be asked from each page. See, first very question that could be asked, or that you should know at least, why it is hard to define any subject. This is the first question. You know, when you will be reading it, you had already covered also. First point in this is it evolves continuously. Changes keep on taking place in each subject. That is why it is very difficult to define it, whether it is psychology, whether it is sociology, or any other subject for that matter. Then the second point that you can mention in this is that the range of phenomena that the subject studies cannot be captured by one definition. This means that when you are giving definition of one psychologist or one sociologist, it cannot cover all aspects of sociology or psychology which the subject studies. That's why it is very difficult to define a subject. This is the question that could be asked from page 2 of your book. Then the second question from this book only could be, what are the different range of phenomena which psychology studies? So in this you can mention the subject studies individual behavior, dyadic behavior, that is if two persons are behaving together, it will study that also, and it also studies group behavior. Okay, then come to the next page. In this you will be finding the main definition of psychology on page number 3. That is, psychology is defined formally as a science which studies mental processes, experiences and behavior in different contexts. Okay, as I told you always that the subject matter of psychology is MEB, and to study this it uses scientific methods. Some it borrows from biological sciences and some it borrows from social sciences. Okay, now in this definition there are 3 key terms, that is MEB, which you will be asked to explain if it is a long answer. Now the first thing, that is mental processes. What are mental processes? Where do they occur? Yes, they occur in the brain. When we say the experiences are internal to the experiencing person, then we are referring to what the person is experiencing, to what the person is conscious about, or we are referring to mental processes. Okay, so in this, children, mental processes, now where you can see them happening, you know the examples of mental processes: thinking, problem solving, reasoning. Okay, now where they happen? So you can see it could be reflected in the brain activities, and you can measure this in your brain activity through the brain imaging techniques like MRI. Okay, but still, now the next question in this could be like objective, true, false. You just pause the after I speak the question, just pause the video for 1 second and see whether you know the answer of this. Brain activities and mental processes are the same. True or false? Definitely false. Okay. Although means they are interdependent, but they are not same. Okay. They are not same. They are overlapping, but they are not identical. Okay. Now here, when your teacher must have explained you this chapter, she must have told you about the differences between brain and mind. So you all must be knowing that is brain has a physical structure, whereas mind develops as our experiences increases. Okay. Now activities which are going on in our brain, they too provide us with the cues that how our mind is functioning. Okay. This line also comes in true false. Brain activities provide important cues as to how our mind functions. So it would be true. Now, what type of activities? That's next question from this section only. Objective as well as subjective I am discussing together. So please hear the video very properly and also go through your text very properly. See, mental processes, if you are asked, what are the types of mental processes which are of interest to psychologists? So, you can mention that is given towards the last on page 3. You are seeing that is learning, remembering, perceiving. Next, students, what are experiences? Why experiences are subjective in nature? Okay, they are subjective in nature because you cannot observe the experiences directly. Okay, they depend on the person who is experiencing. Now experiences, where do you find? You find it in your awareness, consciousness. They are embedded in our awareness or consciousness. Okay, then psychologists have been interested in studying historic experiences. What are historic experiences? Historic means enjoyed by only few people with special knowledge. All of us cannot. The people like yogis, they meditate and they experience, special kind of enjoyment while meditation. Okay, or for example, a drug addict, once a person takes the drugs and okay, so psychologists have been interested in studying historic experiences. Now, next term in your definition is that of behavior. Behavior, as you all know, are the responses or reactions which people make towards the stimulus, isn't it? They could be simple, they could be complex, they could be short or enduring. Enduring means lasting, everlasting. Okay. Now, some behavior are overt and the other are covert. Overt behavior. Okay. Now, let's move to next page as it is revision. Overt and covert behavior you all can explain very nicely. Next is psychology as a discipline. In this in this section you would find some sentences very important. First, that is important is it seeks to understand and explain how mind works and how different mental processes results in different behavior. This is what is the focus of the psychologist. Okay, what are the activities which are going in our brain? The mind of the brain of the person who is ill is not functioning as proper as of the normal person. So what happens that he behaves in a different way. Okay, whereas a normal person behave in a different way. Okay, so psychologist seeks to study all this. Plus the next line, which is very important in Indian tradition, if we see, self reflection and analysis of the conscious experience is considered to be the major source of psychological understanding. Indian says that Indian tradition says that if we want to understand, you know, psychology of the people, we should be able to analyze our conscious experiences. Okay, but this, when we are analyzing conscious experiences, again experiences are subjective in nature, and this brings subjectivity in psychology. However, children, you know, Western psychologists have also begun to focus on the role of self reflection and self knowledge. Okay, so whatever they will be studying, that is MEB, will remains the subject matter of psychology, and they will try to explain it in a systematic and verifiable manner. And you would be finding that the knowledge of psychology you will be finding in all the areas, especially this artificial intelligence. You can mark in your books also. Artificial intelligence, the concept cannot possibly grow without psychological knowledge. Okay, then it focuses. Now there are two parallel streams. Psychology as a discipline today is considered to have two parallel extremes, like it is art also, it is included in humanities also, it is included in science also, isn't it? So as a science, it is going to focus its attention largely on the biological principles which explain human behavior, that is what is happening inside and is creating change in our behavior. For example, if the thyroxine gland is working properly in our body, what is the result on our behavior? And if it is not, then what is the result on our behavior? Okay, whereas as a social science, it is focusing on our interactions with the people in the society. Okay, how the behavioral phenomena can be explained in terms of the interaction that takes place between the person and the socio-cultural context in which he is part of it. Okay, same way you can go through next in psychology as a natural science. As a natural science, the main word that you have to highlight is objectivity, and second thing, hypodeductive model. I hope you all know, you had studied before, that what is hypodeductive, hypothetico deductive model. This model tells you that if you want to explain a phenomena, anything you want to explain, then you should have a theory behind it. And you know how we begin with the theory, and how we make hypothesis, then how we find out how we test it, and how we prove the hypothesis. Okay, then the question could be, other question that could be there from this paragraph could be, what approaches has been used to explain diverse kind of psychological phenomena like attachment and aggression? So the answer would be hypothetico deductive approach or model has been used to study this attachment and aggression. That is, experiments are being conducted to show, to study these phenomena. Okay. Then psychology as a social science, you must have read, you please revise the example of Ranjita and Shabnam, the two friends, how living in the same environment they were different from each other, and some similarities also you must have noticed. Next, in this next page you have psychology as a social science will focus on the individual and communities in relation to the socio-cultural and physical environment. This I had already discussed with you just now. Since it is revision, let's move forward. Understanding mind and behavior, a very small video has been already been uploaded on this topic, so you can go through it. I'm leaving it for the time being. Next is understanding notion about the discipline of psychology, popular notions about. See, in this you will study about that there are differences in the what the people think about psychology. They think that psychologists are astrologers, tantrics, palm readers. Is it true or false? Definitely false, isn't it? Same way, the next thing that you will be explaining, or you are explained in this, under this point is, what is the difference? The question that could come is, what is the difference between common sense explanation of human behavior as well as psychologist explanation? So you will be finding that there is lot of difference. You must be knowing the meaning of the word hindsight. You know, they are, the common people are telling about the what is going to, what is going to happen after they had experienced that. Okay, they are not testing anything and telling us. Their basis is hindsight, whereas the psychologist will predict that if this is the situation, this will happen. And for this you can mention these study of Dweck. Dweck was a psychologist who has done the study on this fact that common sense will tell us, if we want that easy problems, to give the children easy problems so that their success rate goes up, as their confidence will increase, and afterwards they will be able to solve difficult problem. Okay, but psychologist failed. He did the study and he found that those who were given, he has conducted, you read through this text and you will be finding he has taken two groups, in which to one group he gave easy problem, to the other group he gave mixed bag, that is easy and difficult. And when they were not able to solve the difficult problem, he just persuaded them not to give up but keep trying. And the common sense view was that the easy one will succeed, but the psychologist view was more effective in this. His experiment has proved that those who were given easy problems, they gave much faster. They left the situation. They said that we are not able to do it. But those who were already taught, who were given the training that they have to make efforts despite of the difficulties, they did better. Okay, so this proves that psychologists work on the work on the problems through different steps in a systematic manner, whereas common sense view is just based on आजकल, like everyone would say, अरे what is psychology, we all are psychologists. Now this is the difference. Okay, and then means we are able to guess what will happen, but that is based on your guesses. Whereas the psychologist, if will say something, will be saying on the basis of his experiments, on the basis of the researches which he is conducting. Okay, now next very important topic is evolution of psychology. You all know in this you must have prepared a good answer, because this comes in 6 markers also. Discuss the evolution. Evolution means development. For this also the video has been uploaded before also. I'll be posting the link of both the videos to you and you can go through it again. I'm just telling you the type of question. One could be, discuss the evolution of psychology as a whole, and you have to discuss all these schools. The other could be, what is, in the 2 markers, what is introspection, that is looking into yourself. Then name the functionalist, name the behaviorist, all should be at your tip by now. And then what is humanistic perspective in psychology, these type of questions separately also can be asked. Then this box 1.1, kindly prepare all the dates that will come for your objectives. Okay, then the next is development of psychology in India. In this you must have prepared, you have to start from the establishment of first psychological lab in Calcutta University in 1915, okay, to the establishments of the psychology department in Utkal University to Allahabad, and so on and so forth. Then children, kindly go through this properly. Durganand Sinha's book, that is Psychology in the Third World Country. It discusses the growth of psychology in India in 4 phases. Okay, just now I'm just making you revise. My purpose is to put the chapter in in as a revision of the chapter in this video. So you will study about all the 4 phases nicely from your book. Next is branches of psychology. The scope of psychology is very broad, and it extends from conception till the birth, and there are various branches of psychology starting from cognitive psychology, biological psychology, neuropsychology, developmental psychology, health psychology, so on and so forth. Okay, different branches also, one answer is expected, plus from the option means in between also. For example, you can be asked, which branch of psychology focuses the role of psychological factors in the development, prevention and treatment of the illness. So answer would be health psychology. Next, the topic themes of research and application. This is deleted from your syllabus, this you can leave. Next is psychology and other discipline. Yes, psychology you would be finding in interrelated with all the disciplines. You could see the flow chart on this page number 17. The last topic, psychology in everyday life. In this you must have studied that psychology is the main subject wherein we not only study human behavior, but we also provide these solutions to daily life issues, ranging from personal life to social and to social and political life also. For example, a daughter having to face an alcoholic father or a mother. Now, the psychology is going to study this, also provide the solution for this. You must have seen on television these days counselors and therapists suggesting solutions to variety of problems related to children, adolescent, adult and elderly. Okay, and also it plays an important role in social problems related to population, poverty, etc. So this all you will be studying later on, the solutions in this book. Okay, so this is your first chapter revision, and many questions I had discussed. Then you can see and see. Let us see if we had covered up all the questions which are there in NCRT. What is behavior? Give examples of covert and overt behavior we had discussed in this video. Then popular notions also we had discussed. That is the second question. Third question, account of evolution of psychology also I told you. It would be a 6 markers or so. Then the problems for collaboration of the psychologists with other discipline. Yes, this we were discussing just now. Okay, that every discipline requires the knowledge of psychology. Then differentiate between psychologist and psychiatrist. This I told you, this you should know, although it has been deleted from your syllabus. Then some areas of everyday life where just understanding of psychology can be put to practice. How can the knowledge of field of environmental psychology to promote environmental. I had not discussed all the branches in detail, but in branches you will get this answer also. And then in terms of helping to solve an important problem, that is of crime, which branch of psychology do you think would be? This type of question be very prepared with. Okay, this can come. Which branch would be there? So that is criminology, and you can write the whatever is required for this answer. Okay. Okay, so that's all for today.